Pull up a chair, episode 53. I do believe I know what this means, and that is we are live. So thank you for being tuned in on this blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Saturday. We will be doing Sleepless Radio tomorrow, but today we wanted to talk about all the crazy shit going on in the world. We wanted to give our payback predictions, our all-in recap, and just dive headfirst into all the madness that goes on in the daily simulation. And to my right, I have wifey joining me today, pulling up a chair with the on-air sign, so you know we are live. And thank you for joining us, my beautiful, sweet wife. And if you don't know this ugly mug by now, it's El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything he fucking knows, a.k.a. Stony Montana, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, a.k.a. Bed Burgundy, a.k.a. call me what you will, just don't call me broke or sad. It's Young Dumbledore, the lyrical wizard, a.k.a. you know who it is, Mr. Intro Smoker himself. Pause. But just I wanted to come in a little bit light. I've been watching the past couple videos, and I feel like I come in, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, and I scream the intro at everybody during Sleepless Radio anyway. So I just wanted to give it a nice little, I wanted to lube up the entry a little bit, lube up the entry for Pull Up a Chair. Come in nice and quiet, not just screaming at everybody. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for pop it in if you're watching this now, if you're watching live, or if you're watching afterwards. But before I get into anything, unfortunately, I have to start off on just a little bit of a sad note. But R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. For those that don't know, we saw that news broke this morning. I believe he was, 76 years old?
Yes.
76 years old. So R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. Definitely tomorrow for Sleepless Radio before we go live, going to play one or two classic records by him. I know we got Margaritaville in downtown Cleveland. I already thought today, I said that thing's going to go crazy. Honestly, yeah, it's probably popping already. They're probably running flash deals. I know they're all over the world too, so I'm sure there's one in Nashville that's probably going nuts. And people forget how popular he was too. I mean, I know I wasn't ever really that hip on his music, but he was on.
I'm pretty positive him and Kenny Chesney, they did quite a few songs together. I think that
was Kenny's Kenny's inspiration, if I'm not mistaken, because he gives off that Jimmy Buffett vibe. Mm-hmm. I unfortunately tend to only remember Jimmy Buffett from the South Park episode where he popped up at the AIDS convention instead of Elton John, and Eric Cartman wasn't too pleased about it. He came out with the AIDS burger in paradise. AIDS burger and it ain't nice. And crying, fuck you, Jimmy Buffett. But R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. I just had to share a little bit of comedy, make sure I lighten it up a little bit. Like I said, I wanted to keep the mood light today. I wanted to keep it light. Which brings me to this. Let's just bring it right in with the WWE Payback predictions. Got a WWE PLE tonight. We got Payback. Card is set. We got John Cena hosting it. Cena's back, which is awesome. Love having John Cena back. When he holds up the banner and he goes, "Let's go to work." Love that. Classic Cena. He loves being back. It's his favorite thing to do. I mean, he even said it last night right after you were like, "Oh, I think this is what he loves to do the most." And he's like, "Oh, being back here in front of you guys," he's like, "There's not a feeling like it in the world."
He loves doing his movies and shows and everything else, but I think WWE is his home. And
oh yeah, when he gets to come back and do what he started off as, what broke him. But so let's just start right off with the Payback predictions. Let's just take it from the card from the beginning to the top. I'm about to look that up. I thought I had that picture saved. I don't want to go off the top of my head for that one. Might be a little difficult. I'm just so glad John Cena's hosting, though. And I think, just going into it, I'm going to give a hot take before we get into the actual predictions, because I always like to give one hot take before going into the pay-per-view with no inkling, really, of it happening. I've only heard one rumor, but I like how it sounds. So John Cena is Cody Rhodes' biggest current inspiration. I think you've heard him mention in all the documentaries that, he always kind of wanted to be like John Cena in some ways. Well, as you know, Cody Rhodes tonight on WWE Payback is going to be on Grayson Waller Effect. So Grayson Waller is doing a show. I feel like John Cena might come out, and I could see them now building for a match at Fastlane.
Oh, 100%.
Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. He gets to get his dream match in. The only thing that I feel like goes against my hot take is they're both extreme baby faces.
You know what? WWE game would be like, I don't know.
It could. I think it could work, and I think another reason why it could work is the rumor is that Cody's going to finish the story at WrestleMania 40. But also there's a rumor that goes with that supposedly Triple H is having a very difficult time figuring out what to do with him and keep him over until he can win the Rumble and go back into the main event against Roman again.
Cody.
Yes. That's the issue that Triple H is having. He's saying that, hey, look, I'm going to finish the story. But to get to that chapter to do it, I'm having a little bit of a hard time here. That's like people is like, oh, well, why is Cody on the Payback card, but he's only on the Grayson Waller effect? And I'm over here like, well, if they're going to do that,
they gotta
then that means that they got to build to a match. And I don't think Cody and Grayson Waller's a money bag in Triple H's eyes. So I feel like he wants to get, Cody into maybe a program with Cena while you got Cena. Because obviously you got to use him while you got him.
Yeah.
And that also runs me into the next question, which is, well, then what would you have Cena be doing?
You know what? When we were watching SmackDown last night, I was like thinking of that. I'm like, okay, so like, what's gonna be the storyline? Like, what is he gonna be doing for these next, however many?
Yeah, is he just coming out there and cutting extremely good promos, or like, what's he actually doing?
I don't know. I feel like he's going to be trying to be putting a lot of people over, maybe. Not a lot of people, but, maybe a couple of the ones that can't, like, are almost there. Like, the ones that are, like, right on.
So far, since he's been putting everybody over, it's worked on everybody but Theory.
Yeah, well,
it worked on everybody but Theory.
I don't like him.
Which, let's just start there. United States Championship rematch. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory. Who wins? I'm going to be honest.
You don't think so?
I don't like it that it's a rematch. I don't like that. Rey Mysterio won it on TV. I think Rey Mysterio might try to put Theory over on the pay-per-view. I would not be shocked if Theory wins this match.
Did we see that? Was that what we were watching? Or no?
That was a tag match between Theory and Grayson Waller against Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio on last night's SmackDown. I'm going to be honest. I want Rey Mysterio to win, but unless they're just ready to just bury Theory. Or I'll even go this far. Dominic Mysterio came out. Hot take Tuke alert again. Dominic Mysterio came out about a week or two ago and said that, because remember, he's the NXT North American champion. And he doesn't feel like his father being the United States Championship is him being a good father because it's outshining what Dom's doing as his son. Do they reignite the feud and Dom comes out and fucks over Rey and that's how Theory gets it? So Theory doesn't just win clean?
See, like, I feel like it can go a couple different ways. It's like, I don't know if they're going, like, I don't know.
I'll take this hot take a step further. Does the LWO come out and heel turn on Rey and kick him out of the LWO? We don't need you anymore.
I don't know. It is, I don't know. Something crazy could go with that.
I think Theory wins, but I don't think he wins clean.
No, he doesn't. No, if he does, because I don't know. If he does,
maybe even like a ref out. The ref's out, and Theory grabs the belt and hits Rey with it.
I think it's gonna be like the classic. Ref goes out. Rey pins him. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, where's the ref?
Oh my God! Somebody comes out, and then the ref comes back in. Theory pins him. 1, 2, 3, bam.
I love that classic though. Like they're about to go for the pinfall, and like they can clearly see the ref is just like out, zoink cold. He's Drake on half a Xan, and then they're still going for the pinfall, wondering where he's at. Like,
I don't.
But I think Rey has a great match, but like you said, I think Theory's going to win that thing dirty. There's a newest match was announced, which is for the Unified Tag Team Championships. We got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Oh, I don't like Damian Priest.
You thinking KO and Sami retain?
Oh yeah, those are my two faves.
I think KO and Sami retain too.
I love them.
I do think, though, that this is where we're going to see more friction in the Judgment Day.
Okay.
I'm thinking more friction in the Judgment Day.
Do you think that they're just gonna all soon? Like they're all just gonna dismantle? It's just gonna be.
I think they want to keep Rhea and Dom as a pair. That seems to work. It's the Finn and Damian part that they're having a hard time getting that to stick and work. I mean, they both can wrestle great, especially Finn, but like.
Now, is Damian over? Like he's.
I wouldn't really. See, that's tough. The Judgment Day as a whole is over.
Okay.
But most of that is actually attributed to Rhea and Dom's success.
Okay.
Damian won the Money in the Bank, and I mean, I know he's got fans, but I mean, I really personally, I've never heard somebody, Damian Priest, I can't wait for him to cash in. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. I just don't see that happening, and I don't see him and Finn sticking with the Judgment Day very much longer. I think they kind of want to have Damian Priest be like a lone wolf, with the briefcase.
I feel like he's going to.
I don't think he cashes in tonight. I saw the rumor that maybe he cashes in on the Shinsuke Seth match, which I don't think will happen. But I do think for the tag, we're both saying then KO and Sammy retain. They don't want the belts off that yet. We're both agreeing with that one.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't.
Well, then that pivots us right into what they did announce as the main event of the night, which is Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight title. Now, they've been having a great build with that. The Shinsuke build, the presentation for him, I think, has been great. Probably the best he's looked since he came over from New Japan. Mm-hmm. Now, who do you think's going to win that, Seth Rollins or Shinsuke? I'm actually going to say Shinsuke.
I feel like they're going to give it to Shinsuke, but obviously I want Seth to win. So I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going with my bias on this pay-per-view because it's really not one of my favies. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins.
It is one of the...
I'm going with Seth Rollins, and if I'm wrong every go around, then you know what? So be it. I'm being biased this week, guys.
I will say the thing with the Seth Rollins thing, though. He does have a surgery thing kind of lingering right now. That something with his back, like he has a really bad back.
Okay.
And he's kind of been putting it off for months. And it was kind of like one of those things like how Moxley did it for AEW. He was like just about to take time off. Mm-hmm. And Triple H was like, hey, we're going to debut this new belt. You think you got 3 or 4 more? And Seth, that's kind of like the vibe. He didn't say that timetable, but the vibe I'm getting is kind of like Seth's like, okay, I'll take it, but not sure how long we're going to ride this thing out for.
So then you could just flip it real quick.
Yeah. And make Shinsuke look really good. Because when Shinsuke first came in, he looked really good. And then they started pairing him with Rick Boogs, and he almost turned into a joke in some aspect. But I do think Shinsuke wins tonight. You're saying Seth. So we're at odds on that one. So far, we're thinking pretty much alike. Now, this match is the one that I'm looking the most for. One of the two I'm looking the most forward to. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus, steel cage match to end the feud. Sounds like they're both ready to move on. This will be the one that ends it. The feud will be over after tonight. Steel cage match. Zoe Stark, I'm sure she'll get involved some way or another. But who do you think will win? Becky Lynch or Trish Stratus?
Becky.
That's
my bias. As well as who I think.
Yeah, I think because they gave Trish a win already. In fact, I think they even maybe gave her 2 wins. I don't think either of them were clean, though. But, in fact, I know the one wasn't. But I do think Becky Lynch is going to get that W tonight. I think that's pretty clear. I think Trish's whole thing of having Becky as a comeback dream opponent, and obviously that's who Becky loves, having them be able to do that feud, I think is really special. Yeah. And I think they're going to cap it off great. And it sounds like Trish Stratus is ready to hang around for a little bit, too.
Yeah. That's
it doesn't sound like tonight will be it.
That's going to be, the one match that I'm looking forward to. I'll watch probably tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you'll be, probably won't be much good for it later on. You'll be knee deep in Margaritaville, but or something of the other. Which leads me to the other match, though. I'm looking most forward to tonight. We got LA Knight, the name that everybody's saying, yeah, versus The Miz, Mr. M-I-Z, Mr. Awesome himself, Tiny Balls himself. Who do you got winning? LA Knight versus the Cleveland boy, Miz.
I don't like LA Knight.
What?
The Miz.
You're saying The Miz?
No, he loses like all the time. But I want The Miz because I'm going biased.
You're going biased, so you're saying
And
The Miz.
I just really don't like LA Knight. Like, even after his... I just really don't.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going LA Knight. I'm going with the name that everybody's saying. But, no, I got LA Knight winning that one, though, for sure. Which then I do believe brings us to the last match on the card, but I'll double check just to make sure. We got Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez for the women's title. Who do you got? For the Raw women's title, I believe, actually.
And who?
You got Raquel Rodriguez versus the champ, the defending champ, Rhea Ripley.
When we were playing the WWE, remember Rachel was my...
Raquel.
Raquel was my champ. Remember that?
She was your champ, actually.
And I literally built her up. She was
That's funny.
solo, and I was like, "This is it." And I said, "Remember?" And I was like, "What if this is
gonna happen?" You manifested it on the last 2K game,
and I was SmackDown. I'm not joking. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you manifested it on the last 2K game.
I did.
That's funny.
That was months ago, like a year ago.
Damn. And it's all coming to fruition now.
I don't know if it was against Rhea, but...
So you're saying Raquel beats Rhea?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with what's going on.
Whoa! Okay, I thought I was coming in with the hot takes today.
Yep.
You're saying Miz is beating LA Knight.
I have a smooth brain today.
They're burying him 18 feet deep. And then you're saying Raquel is beating Rhea. That's insane. I gotta go with mommy on this one.
Oh,
I think.
I hate it.
I think Rhea's gonna win, and
I'd rather burn my ears.
And if Raquel is kicking her ass, well, that's no problem because don't worry, little Dom Dom's gonna come out. Little Dom Dom, he's gonna come out and save the day.
Dom.
The North American champion Dom Dom. He's gonna come to mommy's aid. He's gonna save her.
I hate that. Like, I really do. I hate that.
What do you think? I said it twice, but yeah. So I think that's how we got Payback going. We got Sammy and KO retaining. I got LA Knight winning. You got Miz. I got Rhea retaining. You got Raquel. I got John Cena coming out and them creating the feud and the build for Cody versus John at Fastlane. I got Rey Mysterio getting potentially screwed over by either the LWO, but either way, we got Theory winning dirty. And then we got Becky winning. I think that's clear as day. And then you got Seth retaining, but I got Shinsuke. So I think that's going to be fun to see who comes out on the better end of these picks here. Which then pivots us into another major wrestling event that happened last week, a big pay-per-view. And look, I know for the past month and a half, I had some AEW fans on my ass on Reddit calling me a hater and everything. So let me see if I can patch that up real quick. Wanted to say a big congratulations, and I know you were saying the same thing, to AEW All In for 81,135 people in Wembley Stadium. That, cheers to you guys. That was absolutely incredible. The highest paid attendance for any wrestling event, including WWE, in wrestling history. So I think that is just absolutely incredible that they were able to pull off a feat such as that. I'll be honest, as you know, I had my doubts for weeks. It wasn't looking good. The card was looking a little shaky. And in the clutch, Tony Khan turned into Tony Bryant and just fucking pulled out 81 points. Absolutely went incredible. He snapped. The card looked really good from the highlights that I saw. The pay-per-view looked like the matches delivered. I saw Ospreay and Jericho got the 5-star from Meltzer. Okay. So that's cool. MJF versus Adam Cole. I watched that match. Thought that was great. Thought their tag match in the pre-show was great. I thought the trios match was a little bit wonky, but it came together. I mean, Kenny Omega can, again, as always, out-wrestle anybody. So I thought that was phenomenal. Saraya coming out to We Will Rock You by Queen and winning the women's championship. I thought that was great. Nice. And then that brings us to another match that I thought was good, but one of the guys in this match, that is a name we've talked about a lot, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. I thought that was a good match. That was for the Real World Championship. However, though, CM Punk is now suspended. So is another guy that was on the pre-show that had what I thought was a good match, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So, for those that don't know, we're going to reel this thing all the way back. And before I go into what I'm about to say, I find this terribly unfortunate that all this had to happen and outweigh everything great that they really achieved with All In.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed as the week has went on, it's not look how great they did, or look at how great that match was, or look at how many people were there, and look how much merch they finally sold. It's, did you hear what happened with CM Punk? Which, if that doesn't define what a fucking cancer to a locker room is, I don't know what does. But let's reel this thing all the way back to square one. For those that don't know, I always like to provide the context. So, this whole thing with CM Punk, all of his drama started, which you've heard us mention it from last year, which was at last year's All In, where he defended the title, had a great match, went to the back, dogged a bunch of people on the press conference, Kenny Omega and the Bucks. They go to the back. CM Punk gets into an altercation in the back. He gets indefinitely suspended. There's fines. There's an investigation. Bunch of shit going on. They give him time off, suspension. They let him nurse his injuries. He comes back a couple months ago. Then Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, is having a match. And again, for those that don't know, CM Punk has a locker room leadership role. Don't know how he ended up having that, but he has it. I don't think he has it anymore, though. So they're giving him another chance. People in the locker room like to run things by Tony. They like to run things by Kenny and Punk and the Bucks and all those guys. Well, Jungle Boy wanted to use real glass. He comes from that independent style scene of like, hey, if I'm going to do a glass spot, I want real glass. I don't want the bullshit. CM Punk was saying, I'm going to shoot that down. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think you need it. There's really no reason for it. Kind of coming off like, hey, I would never do that. So I don't want to see somebody else do that, because then if they ask me to do that, I'm not going to want to do it. And he looks at it from the perspective of like, you don't need to go that extreme to get an extreme point across. So I kind of agreed with him there. Yeah, however, there is a little bit of fault to put on Jungle Boy here, because again, he stirred the pot. And I feel like as soon as he said this, Tony Khan's probably looking around like, great, here he goes. So in the pre-show, which CM Punk and Samoa Joe kicked off All In. So in the last match of the pre-show, it was Jungle Boy versus, I forget the name, and I don't want to say a wrong name and be wrong, but it was a good match. There's a part where they're on a car at the top of the ramp. They're on a pickup truck. Okay. They do a suplex spot on the windshield. It's real glass. There's no fake in that. So about 2 minutes goes by, and there gets to a spot where Jungle Boy then throws the other guy like head first into like the passenger side window of the truck, smashing the glass. They did those spots without running it by anybody. Oh. They were just supposed to like do it on top of the car, not on top of the truck, not on top of the actual windshield, and then do the side of the car spot.
Oh, so they just did it anyway.
Yeah, freeballed it. Well, Jungle Boy then looks at the camera after he throws Homeboy into the window and goes, yeah, that's real glass. Cry me a river. And then goes right back to the match, and they finish it. Supposedly, they finish the match. Goes great. Jungle Boy comes back, comes through the curtain. CM Punk walks right up to him and starts shit. And I finally got because all throughout the week, the story was changing. So I was like, let me finally wait until we get the story that actually sticks. What really happened here? So here we got it. This is what the cameras in Wembley Stadium picked up. This is what multiple reports have said once the footage was used, that this is what happened. Another version, and this would be a neutral source who was not even a wrestler but was there and witnessed it, and his version was that right after Perry came to the back, Punk went nose to nose with him aggressively and asked him if he had a problem. That person said Perry said he was just looking to get heat as a heel and prove a point. Punk then shoved him hard. Perry then proceeded to get in his face. In that version, Punk then sucker punched him and went for a chokehold. People immediately broke it up, and Khan was visibly yelling, screaming at Punk to let him go. That person said that once they were separated, Punk then lunged in Khan's direction, but a number of people got in his way, Miro included, while Punk was yelling, "I quit." Monitors were then knocked down during all this, and Samoa Joe was very upset and was the only one who could calm Punk down. Because Tony threatened to pull the match, and that's when like Punk was like, "Yo, Punk, calm the fuck down. Like, we're the intro match. Like, I'm looking forward to this. Like, don't fuck this up for me. Like, come on." And Punk went out, did the match, went to the back, and supposedly just had a few words with Khan. And then this is where it gets crazier. Miro was trying to reason with him. Punk wasn't having it and tried to get into a verbal altercation with Miro, into which then Tony Khan ended this whole thing by saying, "Hey, Punk, get the fuck out."
Wow.
So that's essentially how the whole thing went. Jungle Boy got kicked out right after the incident just because of how it all went down. And supposedly Tony Khan didn't even really get a good scoop at it because, hey, he's actually trying to run the highest paid attendance pro wrestling show of all time. So he's a little busy. And then obviously Punk had to activate his stage 4 cancer ability.
Yeah.
And suck. And
I mean,
supposedly too, the atmosphere after that whole incident, just imagine somebody took a dagger and just stuck it right in the heart of the vibe. Like everybody was like, "Whoa, like what? We're all having a good time here, and what the fuck just happened over here?"
See now, what's like?
And Punk after this too, as a result, Jungle Boy is suspended. I believe they said for up to a month. Punk suspended indefinitely. Yeah. And he also got fined 5 figures. Is the rumor? That's not confirmed, but the rumor he was fined 5 figures.
Well, you know what? I mean, they're both in the wrong. Like you said, Perry should have definitely.
He shouldn't have done.
I mean, he shouldn't have done it. But with Punk supposedly being a locker room whatever figure, leader, mentor, whatever the case is, supposed to be a superior. So he should have waited till after the pay-per-view or brought him aside and been like, "Yo, I thought I vetoed this. Like, what happened? Why'd you do it?" And then if you can't come at him in a calmly manner and then he starts getting all crazy with you, okay, I'm going to take it up with Tony. We'll have a meeting about this at a different time. Like, you don't operate that way. You don't fucking go out and start sucker punching and choking people out because they didn't follow your rules. Like, what are you What is this?
And this is also just a rumor, but I think there's a lot of truth to it. So this whole first time the Punk drama happened last year was with the Bucks and Omega. Well, that's who Tony Khan's like the closest with that. I mean, that's who literally helped start the company with him and promote it and do all that. And the part that actually makes me raise my eyebrows the highest is the part where he then proceeded to lunge at Khan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And as the rumor of the footage goes, the people that were right in his way when he lunged was the Bucks and Omega. Like, fuck out of here. That's not happening. Like, no way. Mm-hmm. But then what do you think of him visibly yelling and audibly yelling, "I quit"?
He needs to quit.
"I'm sick of this shit," was what he said. He goes, "I'm sick of this shit. I quit."
He needs to
But he's suspended indefinitely.
So he basically is like fired, I guess.
That hasn't been broke yet.
Not fired, but just see you later.
I think at this point, Tony Khan gave him the biggest second chance in the world.
Yeah, and he just fucking blew it.
Yeah, you lunged my direction and everything, like, almost fucked up this whole pay-per-view, like.
Yeah.
You got Samoa Joe over here, like.
Well,
come on,
okay,
man.
So did anybody get crazy cut up from the glass?
No.
Okay, so then why?
It went fine. I mean, their backs were cut up.
I mean, but nothing crazy.
No.
Then why was it a big deal?
Neither of them were bleeding on the face. It was just Jungle Boy's, because Jungle Boy did the suplex. If I remember correctly, it was just both of their shoulders. Like, the way they landed it was like Jungle Boy was cut around his neck and shoulders, and the dude that he did it on was kind of cut like shoulders to middle back. But the glass didn't get stuck, nothing like that. And yeah, he comes through the curtain, and here comes tough ass Punk. Let's go nose to nose. Like, and then sucker punched him and tried to choke him.
That's crazy.
And it's like, come on. But yeah, unfortunately, we find ourselves talking about CM Punk again because of some bullshit that he did. But I saw that was just the news story that everybody was talking about this week. And again, unfortunately, it outshined All In as far as media coverage goes. But I hope people realize how special and truly amazing AEW just did that event for not just pro wrestling as a whole, or not just for them, but as for pro wrestling as a whole. I mean, that was amazing achievement. I saw now Impact is trying to invest more in their production because they're like, okay, wait a minute. If they can get 81,000, we can at least get more people than we got now. Like, come on. And then you got New Japan, like, all right, like maybe we can go for a U.S. tour of our guys. And it's like, all right, I like seeing that happen because, again, if there's no AEW doing that, it's just WWE being the bully on the block that it's always been. Mm-hmm. But believe that might be what I was going to leave off on wrestling. Yeah, that was it. I just wanted to cover our Payback predictions, make sure that you guys know that Cena's back. Dun, 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 dun. And then, yeah, all the bullshit that happened with fucking Punk. And yeah, I think at this point, in conclusion, let me ask you this. Do you think, because there was one last thing I wanted to mention about CM Punk, actually. Do you think he would ever come back or be welcomed back? Let me say that. It's a two-parter. Do you think he would come back and try to come back? Or do you think he'd even be welcomed back if he tried to come back to WWE?
No.
Because remember, he did hash it out with Triple H and The Miz. Because remember when Vince McMahon said, I want him out of the building?
Yeah.
And Triple was like, are you sure you don't want to talk to him? And Vince like, trust me, you just got to get him out of the building. And everybody was like, why does Vince want to kick him out so bad?
Yeah. No, I don't think he's... okay, just because two people squashed it doesn't mean the entire locker room didn't squash.
Well, yeah, I mean, supposedly to go back to that night, he wanted to hash it out with Miz, Triple H, and Vince. Miz forgave him. Triple H forgave him. He then asked Triple H, can I talk to Vince? Vince didn't return my call. Into which Triple H said, well, let me go ask him and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And when he got back to him, he said, Vince, unfortunately, not only said no, but now he wants you escorted out of the building. And Punk was like, oh, my God. Do you think Vince had a point? Was Vince smarter than Tony Khan? Vince is like, nope, I played this game before. Just get him out. Get him out. This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Like, he sounds good on paper. He's a big star, but when you try to use him
he's just like
for whatever reason, it just goes south.
Player.
He used to be. That's the crazy thing.
Stopped getting what he wanted.
And then I'll never forget the first time, because if you remember, I was a CM Punk. I mean, I still always will respect that incredible run that he had. But I remember when I watched that one interview with him and he was complaining about, oh, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. And I feel like I never really got to be put over like that. And I was never the main event of WrestleMania. And then I put on this video one time because I was trying to explain it to you. I was actually trying to make a point where I was like, yeah, look at how many times he got fucked over. Look at this recap of all his wins and losses. And I played it, and like halfway through it, I'm like, okay, so he's a 4-time world heavyweight champion and a 3-time WWE champion, and he has one of the longest reigns. Where wasn't he getting put over? I'm like wait a minute.
Why? Because he's not John Cena? I mean,
well, that was the thing. He didn't want to face Undertaker. When he originally quit, he did not want to, or when he originally, I should say, sat out, because he didn't quit. He just kind of sat out, and then they fired him. But his thing that he didn't want to do is, which just sounds insane every time you say it, he didn't want to face Undertaker again at WrestleMania for the championship. Or no, he didn't want to face Undertaker at WrestleMania because it wasn't going to be the main event. Why? Because the main event was John Cena versus The Rock. And he felt that was fucked up. That you're going to eliminate me in the Royal Rumble, give me this bullshit-ass feud with Kane, and then make me face, which I will admit that would have been a bullshit-ass feud. But, I mean, when you get Taker at Mania, that's as good as the main event, whether you win or lose. Like, that's the match that everybody focuses on. But as always, it's a reoccurring theme that's why people hate John Cena, because, John Cena gets the main event. I don't.
He's a pick-me.
Yeah. Well, enough of CM Punk. I will keep you updated though as the whole suspension thing plays out, and we'll see how that goes. Let's dive into. I'm thinking let's do music. Let's dive into music.
Okay.
Start it right off. I did want to mention great Sleepless Familia, friend of the show, Mango Matt. He was in Vegas, well, is in Vegas currently, but he was at the Drake show last night. And he got to see the Sixth God. He was actually pretty close, which I'm so jealous of the song that Drake played, because for each show, for those that don't know, on the It's All a Blur tour, he goes back and he does one classic, deep cut classic, that's different from any other show. Meaning every show gets one unique record that you would have never, like, that no other show will get. Well, they've also been doing the thing where they jumble up the openers. So I thought it was going to be Sexy Red, 21 Savage, Drake. They switched it up. It was Lil Yachty, 21 Savage, Drake. But I didn't realize how they did the 21 open, which I kind of think is really cool how they do it. So they do, like, Lil Yachty opens it up. Then Drake comes out and does his big dramatic intro, gets a couple records off, so the crowd's like hype. And then he brings 21 Savage out, lets 21 do a couple of his originals. Then they do Her Loss together. And then Drake's kind of like, all right, kids, get out. And then he goes on to do his big hits and his big run, which I think is hilarious. Like in the one clip that he showed, I was cracking up. It was like 21 Savage didn't realize he was overstaying his welcome. And Drake had to, like, tell him in, like, the most nonchalant, peaceful way. But they just finished Hours in Silence. And you hear, like, I think it was God's Plan start. And right when God's Plan starts, 21 Savage, like, kind of, like, comes up to, like, yeah, I'm going to jam with them. And Drake actually stiff arms. Drake goes like, all right, kid, go. These are my hits, not yours. Like, and 21 Savage just kind of like bopping. But what cracked me up is he kind of does the Ashley Simpson. He's kind of like, Drake's like jamming, and then 21's not really sure how to exit the stage. So he's just kind of like, yeah, God's plan. Like, and he just kind of goes 21. And as he goes off the stage, I'm like, oh, that looks funny. I'm like, he seemed like he's really having a good time up there. But just the way Drake's like, all right, kid, go home. I got your Uber ready. But no, I thought that was cool, and I loved how he did cameras. So that was the one that he did that I thought was fucking awesome that he got that. He got cameras / Good Ones Go off of Take Care. The word on road that the click about to blow. Yeah, so I thought that was dope. So new music review time. Not too much of a blessing of a new music Friday, but we do got some new music. Mostly singles dominated it this week. I don't actually, when I go to check out the albums, I didn't really catch out much besides the little 2-pack EP that JID and Yachty dropped. But the one that seems to have the world talking the most as far as new singles goes, Last Time I Saw You, Nicki Minaj drops a new single. We just listened to it before going live. What'd you think?
It was all right. Like, I thought it was not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad. I mean, like, it all in all,
is it your
good.
favorite
It's
Nicki tempo? Or
No. And, like, I love Nicki. I mean, I would consider myself a barb. But, like...
Oh, yeah, we're barbs.
I would say
we're
I'm
barbs.
a barb. But,
there's Nicki on our Disney playlist. We're barbs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I mean, I definitely need to listen to it a couple.
Do you like
times.
it more when she raps or sings? Let me put it like that.
See, I like either. Like, I don't have a preference. But
I think her voice is underrated.
I love it, but I like to listen to music a little bit differently. I don't like to just listen to it one time and give a straight review. I need to listen to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah, it's one of those you got to sit with it. Yeah, I mean, I've only heard it a couple times.
It's not my fave, but it very well might become one. I don't know. We'll see. Overall, good. I liked it.
Yeah, I like that too. I like it when she does more of her singing, and I believe that was the first single for her next project, which I think is coming out. I want to say at the end of September, early October. I think she said.
I can't be.
I think she said. I think she said something like that. I'm sure the past 2 songs will be on it too. The what were they? There was that 2-pack that she did with Lil Baby. I don't think would be on there, but I think she had that record. It's Super Freaky Girl.
Oh yeah,
that'd probably be on there.
Freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another big single that dropped. The females dominated this week as far as the singles go. Doja Cat dropped another record, and this is off of her another single off of her new record coming out called Scarlet. So we've heard Paint the Town Red, which I think Paint the Town Red is a smash. However, though, I'm not really feeling the new one. It's called Demons. We listened to that before going live. What do you think of that? I know you said with the first listen it's kind of hard to.
That one,
I just think the beat was a little bit.
That's not. Yeah.
Too much. Like, I don't know. As far as that goes. Plus, I think the thing that's throwing me off is I like Doja's music. She's kind of too much of a troll. Like,
you think?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, she said a couple months ago, like, oh, I'm going to be rapping. Like, I'm going to be rapping. Like, I got Alchemist beats and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'll bite. And then Paint the Town Red. I mean, that sounds like her normal say-so kind of sound. And then this, I mean, this one sounds kind of harder, I guess. But, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I like it. I'm not like the Demon song, but I like Paint the Town Red.
Oh, yeah, Paint the Town Red. That's cool. I mean, again, my thing with that is I'm not saying the music's not there. I'm just saying
that's not you
kind of, yeah, and I'm getting used to this because now that I'm actually on the Doja train, kind of, I'm, like, getting used to it. Like, oh, she's kind of like Riff Raff. Like I remember when Riff Raff said that before. Riff Raff was like, I'm going to go on Sway in the morning, and I'm going to do the 5 Fingers of Death and show you guys how much I can really rap. And I remember thinking, I'm like, okay, shit, fuck. And then he gets on Sway in the morning, and I'm pulling up the clip. I'm like, okay, let's see this. And 2 bars in, I'm like, he's joking. I'm like, all right, that's a rib. But no, I think that single, though, I mean, again, it's all right. Nothing like Paint the Town Red. Then this next one, Lil Wayne dropped Cat Food. Imagine what that song's about. Yeah, he dropped a record called Cat Food. It's about eating pussy. Not gonna beat around that bush, no pun intended. But what'd you think of it? Again, I showed you it before going live. I've actually listened to this one about 5 times. I actually had it on repeat yesterday. I think I gave it 3 listens in a row, back to back to back. I tried to force myself to like it, and damn it, I still couldn't do it. Hey, we call this shit down the middle.
Said, first rip, it wasn't one of my faves, but again, I'm gonna have to give it a couple more listens just because I do love Wayne and I do like to actually listen to his stuff before I give not before, but before I write it off.
Nah, yeah, I agree with that, but like even the cover art to me looks like some.
It's just what is going on?
And this is the rumor. The thing I wanted to mention on that though is the rumor that I heard is that this is the first single for the next Carter installation.
Oh.
And somebody said that, which this was their review, but I saw on Twitter because I'm like, well, what does other people think about it? Somebody in the comments section says this sounds like Lollipop 2.0. And I'm like, first question I wanted to ask that person is, how old are you? How old are you? This does not hit like Lollipop. Not even close. Yeah, it doesn't hit like Lollipop. Not even close. Oliver Tree dropped the new joint called Essence, which I like that. I like Oliver Tree, though. You do. I know he's kind of a goofball, but I like the guy.
Well, goofy.
Of course. One of the XXL freshmen of this year, who I do think has been on a tear, dropped a record called Can't Go to Jail. Very easy listen. Finesse 2 times. 2 of them. But I love doing their ad-libs. No, I think he's been great. I actually think he was one of the few verses that I actually liked on the XXL Cyphers this year. Like, he was one of the ones where I was like, he's just going to do his drill shit. And then as soon as the beat dropped and I heard him start rapping, I'm like, okay. A little bit more than what meets the eye there. So I always respect that. Cash Kid dropped a record called Irreplaceable. I do recommend. I think that's pretty cool. Now, this is another record, though, that I don't know what happened here. I didn't get to show you this one yet, so I'll have to show you this post-pod. But Justin Timberlake and Nelly Furtado linked up again over a Timbaland beat, big Timbo, and it's called Keep Going Up. That shit's trash.
Ooh, just straight up.
Yeah, I rarely say that. I don't like what Justin Timberlake did with the auto tune. I don't think that was necessary. I've never heard him use that before. And like, again, I know there's singers that use auto tune that don't need it but use it. Cough, cough, T-Pain. Justin Timberlake, what do you need auto tune for, my man? You know what I mean? Like, you can sing just fine. Like, I know he obviously, he gets the good engineer treatment, but he doesn't usually need like the super pitch influx and like all the, like, I don't know. There was just, they made it sound really weird. The Timbaland beat wasn't really knocking. The Timbaland beat sounded more Calvin Harris, but like ultra soft. Like it wasn't knocking. Yeah.
What the hell?
It didn't have the sexy. Yeah, it didn't have the sexy back feel. It didn't have any of that.
Maybe it's just like a different feel they were going for. Maybe this is what they're going for. You came in with too high of expectations.
Well, when you see those names, you're thinking they're going to run it back.
I don't know why those names are together.
Because of all the classics. I mean, they have like a couple classics together from the early 2000s.
I don't.
Nelly Furtado and Justin Timberlake used to make a smash.
Which ones?
I'm going to. In fact, I think it was even with Timbaland. Promiscuous.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Give It To Me.
Okay. Oh, I don't.
Carry Out remix. So like they had joints together.
Okay, so.
And then like that's why like that's like when you hear this, it's like.
So maybe so that's why you're like, what the.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? Like if I was in the studio with them, I'm going in on this one, but if I have my hater hat on right now. But if I was in because I love them so much, that's why I'm hating. It's because I love them so much, and I don't know what happened here. If I was in the studio for this session and they showed me that, they're like, "Yo, what you think about that?" I'd be like, "So is that just you guys shaking the rust off and I'm punked, or what's the next one?" Like it sounds like they try to go for some Latin dancehall shit almost. Like I don't know. I mean, what pissed me off is when Timberlake came in. They lost me when Timberlake came in. Because I thought he was going to mop it up and clean up the mess, but he added to it. He fucking threw kerosene on it. But another record that came out that I thought was pretty good, or one that I actually thought was pretty good, was Tiesto and Bia featuring 21 Savage called Both. Now that's a dance record. That's going to get people moving. Eddie Spaghetti, Big Edin from Rory and Mal, I'm sure is going to get the DJs going, going to get the DJ session going crazy with that. Maxo Cream dropped a new single with Key Glock called Bone Crusher. I like it. Nothing to write home about, but I do like it. We're getting to my highly recommendation, though. Lil Peep and McConan dropped a single off of Lil Peep's new album coming out, which you've heard me say it before, but the amount of music that kid had to make in 3 years, good God almighty. But Lil Peep and I Love McConan dropped November, which is a new single, and it's also paired with I believe it's a 22-minute documentary called Diamonds on YouTube. I'm dying to check that out with you big time. We might even be checking that out tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe even today. But looking really forward, though, to checking that out. The single's good. I'm excited for the album. I want to take my hater hat off. My hater hat's off now. It's good. Nothing to write home about, but I like it. What'd you think of it? I showed you that one pre-pod for a minute. You got to kind of hear the sound. Because I remember when I said it's with I Love McConan, you were like, ooh, I know the name, but where's he from? And I was like, the club going up on a Tuesday. You're like, oh, okay, I remember that.
Yeah, it was good, but I wouldn't,
One last one. Now, this one's just more so funny to me before I get into my 3 highly recommendations of the week. So, because of the lack of albums that came out this week, I had time. I saw a couple drops of names that I had no idea. And sometimes my favorite shit to do is click play and see what happens. This one had me laughing. I still don't know if these guys are serious or not. I'll have to show you the music. But it's called Sweepers Entertainment. And they came out with an album called Sweeps. It's 4 guys. The best way I could explain this shit is they sound like they're trying to go for the Ice Spice sound, but with Jada Kiss's voice. Just imagine if Ice Spice sounded like DMX. That's how these guys rap. And it is hilarious. I can't wait to show you it. And like even some of the bars, I'm like, man, are y'all trolling? I don't know. But let me go to this one. Got my shit on mute. Oh, they don't even have lyrics. I don't know how you could. Some of them are hard to pick up. But yeah, if you guys want to laugh, it's Sweepers Entertainment, Sweepers ENT. I'll show you some of the music after the pod. It literally sounds to me like somebody's trying to sound like Jada Kiss and DMX, but do the Ice Spice flow and over those kind of beats. And it's just absolutely hilarious. But there's this one bar on the record called Telling Me Why. It's track 2, where like the first bar of the song is like, it's something like, I walk up in the club and I'm like, fuck bitches. Yeah, you got to pull up the lyric. I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it in the guy's voice, in the flow too. I'll try. Absolutely hilarious, though. It's comedy gold. Sweepers ENT. Just put ENT. Sweepers ENT.
Oh, Sweepers.
Yeah, Sweepers ENT. You guys got to hear this bar. If you're like, oh, if he's saying it's trash and I don't want to check it out, you got to hear the bar. The record's called Telling Me Why. It's the first line, too. I know it. Because I ran it back. As soon as I heard the line, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, I know I can't be hearing that right. And then after that, I get to tell you about what I'm actually fucking with.
Is it like this?
Yeah. Telling me. Yeah. And the first name's like S. Dot. Yeah, the guys' names are crazy, too. S. Dot Go, Naz GPG, J-Hound, and J5. They literally look like Xbox gamer tags. Like if these guys, like if I joined an Xbox Live party, I'd be like, oh yeah, this looks like a clan. I wouldn't think they look like a fucking rap group.
Oof.
Hard to come by.
Yeah, it really is.
We might abandon it, but it's hilarious. I'll tell you what, I'll post it with the link to the pod. I'll post the bar. But if you guys get a chance to check it out, maybe you'll find it funny and you'll get a good laugh out of it. But now on to my 3 highly recommendations of the week. There was gold in the mine amongst the bullshit. So I'm going to start for my least of the 3 favorites and work my way up. Smoke DZA and Flying Lotus released a 5-track EP together called Flying Objects, which I think is absolutely amazing. I love when the underground gets great producers to link with great artists, especially somebody like Smoke DZA, who really truthfully just does not get his flowers. And fun fact, I got a Flying Lotus poster right behind my plaque on my wall. So I've been a Flying Lotus fan since like 2012. In fact, I first got hit the Flying Lotus when he did that record, Goosebumps. Or no, that was Pharrell. Who did he... Mac did a record, Somebody Do Something, with Flying Lotus. And love that joint. Great features on here, too. They got Black Thought on track 4. They got Conway on track 2, Painted Houses, which is Chef's Kiss. Absolutely amazing verse. Conway's on a tear. Speaking of Conway the Machine, we got 2 singles out. I don't think I covered the other singles, so I'll talk about them both at the same time. 38 Special and Conway the Machine are coming out with a collab album, Special Machinery, which, by the way, I'm so fucking glad that this comes out before I get to see them live and get to chat with them backstage. So these 2 tracks that came out, which have amazing features, Latex Gloves featuring Lloyd Banks. I bet you don't even realize that you know Lloyd Banks. You know I love being able to do this to you. Well, you know, you just saw 50 Cent. Lloyd Banks was a part of the G Unit, the OG G Unit. So like Popping Them Things and Smile, Lloyd Banks. He has a great verse on there. I love hearing from Banks. He's, again, criminally underrated. Amazing pen. But this one just dropped yesterday. And this is one of my 2 favorite singles, songs of the week. Goodfellas featuring Benny the Butcher. That's just, I add any more when I see something like that. I just go ahead and add it. Even if I can't listen to it for hours, I'm like, oh, okay, let me add that. I'll get to it. So, yeah, that joint's incredible. Benny the Butcher's verse, it's 5 out of 5. Conway could rap blindfolded, drunk, spinning around trying to swing on 3 piñatas at the same time. I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary. 38 Special is incredible. I'm glad he's getting that look. But the capital H-I-G-H, Lee recommendation of the week. goes to the 2-pack that JID put out. I saw 2 weeks ago, JID posted a picture. He was in the studio with Lil Yachty and Babytron. Anymore, when I see rappers post pictures of them in the studio, I almost take that as a sign of I'm never going to hear that record. Like, anymore, if they post a picture, oh, we're really not going to get it. JID said, fuck all that noise. So they're coming out, and I don't know if they're going to continue making music together, but as of right now, they have a duo name. They go by the Black Boys, and they presented this as Half Doing Dope / Van Gogh. Well, the record that I highly recommend for the week, is Half Doing Dope, JID, and Babytron. By the way, I create words like a motherfucker. But Half Doing Dope, JID, and Babytron featuring Lil Yachty. Absolutely love it. I mean, right from the first bar, it was instant ad as soon as, again, JID's an instant ad. I know he's gearing up for a project, so I don't know if maybe this is just like a little fun duo EP that he did with Yachty, or if this was just 2 singles gearing up for the new album and he wanted to brand it as an EP with Yachty. But either way, I love seeing these 2 guys work together. Half Doing Dope, I mean, from the first 2 bars was just absolutely incredible. Fuck all you crackers, I'm packing a pole. But I think that lives up to their name, actually. It lives up to their group name. But no, Half Doing Dope, that's my favorite record to drop this week. I've already ran that joint back a good 10 to 15 times. I love that he has Babytron on it because Babytron can really fucking rap and he does not get the credit he truthfully deserves. And I love the joint Van Gogh with Lil Yachty. Now, I know I got to show you Half Doing Dope last night, but what do you think of that? That was the one where I was going absolutely crazy. I fell off the couch. But, you weren't a fan. Oh, so this music scares you away, so to speak?
No.
Van Gogh, though, was another great record that he did with Yachty. Thought that was awesome. And I believe that sums up new music for the week because album-wise, again, I didn't really see much here. I'm looking at Blast dropped an EP with Bino. Oh, Coi Leray dropped a new EP called Blue Moon. I wasn't too big on that, and I do like Coi Leray. Royal Blood, for the rock fans out there, they dropped a solid project. I heard like about 4 off of that. Chase Shakur dropped It's Not You, It's Me, ... It's Love. I heard a couple joints on that. Good R&B project. And Black Youngsta dropped, which means we call that the railroad tracks on this part of the episode, sweetie. Meaning when you've hit that, you've gone too far. Meaning you got to turn around. You're going into no man's land. Making sure I didn't forget any singles. Georgia Smith dropped a single called Falling or Flying. Rod Wave dropped Come See Me. I didn't add it. I thought it was okay. K. Michelle dropped Blame Yourself. Tizo Touchdown dropped You Thought featuring Janelle Monáe. Boz dropped Ho Chi Minh, which I like that. I just haven't came to find myself adding it yet. And I believe that sums it up for new music for the week. So yeah, I highly recommend to check out JID and Babytron and Lil Yachty doing Half Doing Dope. Check out Special Machinery, those 2 singles. And check out Flying Objects with Smoke Diz and Flying Lotus. And let me know, of course, what you guys think of the other singles. See what you guys think of the new Nicki single. See what you guys think of the new Wayne, new Doja. On that note, let's dive into the music news. What's been going on in the music world this week? Well, first thing I wanted to mention, I put this on there myself. I didn't necessarily see any headline, but Sexy Red is blowing the fuck up and quick. Now, I showed you Ski Yee. Showed you the video. Not your steez?
Oh my god, absolutely
not your steezy. Not your steezy.
No, absolutely not. No. Sorry, I'm a hater. I don't like it.
Your hater hat's on?
Yep. I don't like it at all. That is
I know that Sexy Red's a name that's been going on for some months now. Obviously, she had that record Pound Town, which I didn't really look at that as anything serious. I kind of thought like, okay, this could be a here today, gone tomorrow situation. I didn't really get like a Munch vibe from it, so I was like, this will probably be here and there. However, though, after going back and checking out the Hood Princess mixtape, the song that I added was Ski Yee. And I got a little surprise I'm going to throw at you guys towards the end of this pod as well. But which I think you know what that is. involving that beat, cough, cough. But but yeah, so I have jumped on the Sexy Red train. I think Ski Yee has potential to chart high. I'm thinking even top 5, easily top 10 with the way that it's gaining this fast traction. Because it's one of those records where it came out back in like May or June. And it was like, okay, like, that's cool. Record with Tay Keith. And then it was like, okay, a music video comes out. So now you're getting her like kind of aesthetic, her vibe. And then it's like, the more you hear it, the more catchier it gets. And the more you find yourself being like, okay, this is kind of turning into like its own movement. And then Drake's like, hey, you can open for me on a couple shows. And it's like, whoa. And then now all of a sudden, we're watching Hard Knocks this week. And the whole fucking Jets football team is losing their minds to it.
Yeah.
Like, and then what does that mean? They're losing their minds to it. You look over to the people in the stands, the people behind the gates. Oh, wait a minute. They're all digging it. Okay, wait a minute. I don't mind. This is kind of cool. I can bop. And then next thing you know, you got the players, like the one player that hadn't even heard it before. He's doing his stretches, and they walk over, and he's like, what do you think about it? He goes, ski. And he's like, it's kind of catchy. Like, okay, like it gets the team going. There's a whole dance to it. But you're saying you wanna derail this bandwagon. You're saying let's stop this train before it gets off and running.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just don't like the song.
Not a fan? No. I wasn't a fan at first of Sexy Red. I'll be honest. Maybe my hater hat was on that one. I thought she was kind of a joke. But I think you kind of still think that. I mean, she's definitely a gimmick artist, which there's no hating that. I feel like you got to almost have a gimmick to get over. That's why I'm always, when people are like, I don't get it, she doesn't have any fucking lyrical ability. Why does she have all of a sudden 20 million views on YouTube? Gimmick. That's why. I'm with Wifey. Sexy Red is terrible. She's like an offbeat Glorilla, and Glorilla can't rap on beat either. Dear God. Sheesh. Hater hats. Everybody's got their hater hat on today. Good God almighty. I took mine off at least.
I'll tip my hater hat to you.
Damn. I like that. Tip the hater hat. But no, I'm giving Sexy Red a chance, man. I'm giving it a shot. I'm on the bandwagon. It was going by, and I saw it was just about to take off, and I felt like the train conductor was looking out, and conductor, but looked out at me and was like, "Well, you getting on or what?" And I was like, ski. And I jumped right on, and I was like, let's do it. So you know what? I said I was going to save my surprise for the end of the pod, but there's really no reason because I haven't posted it anywhere yet, so I'm just going to tell you now. After the podcast, before Payback, I did 5 freestyles in August. I'm going to go for 6 in September, so I better start today. Ski freestyle will be posted on TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, Reddit, Pornhub, wherever you want to find it, it'll be there. But it'll be on every social media platform. But looking really forward to posting that, though. This is not one of mine that I just do in the span of like a minute and a half. This is a full freestyle. I go for about 3 minutes on this one. So I'm looking really forward to seeing what you guys say about it. Got a couple different flows on there. I don't want to give any spoilers, though. I'm not going to give any bar spoilers. But I'm looking really forward to posting that after the pod. So now, let's talk about somebody who's got their hater hat on because of getting wrongfully accused. So Lil Uzi got wrongfully accused of stealing dogs. This is why I put in the description every week that we live in a simulation. Shit's not real. You just roll with the punches. So Lil Uzi has been wrongfully identified by police as a person who stole a dog in Pennsylvania. Uzi's Instagram selfie was used on accident in a police bulletin to try to capture Uzi. However, cops soon realized that they had the wrong person. They pulled up to Uzi's house and everything. The police do not take the dog shit seriously, or like as a joke. They don't take that shit as a joke. They take that shit to heart, which I won't mention it on camera, but I had a homie who had a relative that they stole a bunch of shit. It was the dog that took him out. And it wasn't the bounty hunter either. It was the fucking pup. But, yeah, so Lil Uzi, though, this is just a quick one, gets wrongfully accused for stealing a dog. Cops come to his house. Obviously, Uzi's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, nah, like, here's the picture that, like, we had, like, the suspect picture. He's like, that's a picture of on my Instagram of me holding the dog. That's my dog. You want to see it? It's right here. I have the paperwork. And the police are like, well, then what the fuck? And they ended up getting the guy that actually did it. So don't worry. The dog thief was caught. But I want to know who had it out for Uzi in that police force. Who had it out for Uzi that was like, all right, dog napping. Somebody's like, Uzi did it. Like, how bad did you have to hate the pink tape to put that on Uzi's jacket? That's a crazy thing to put on somebody's jacket. You stole a dog. Like, dog thief. Uzi. And, like, my other thing with that is, once you pulled up to the house, what do you think? He's like the Michael Vick of stealing dogs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't throw... Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, common sense anymore is just gone.
It's a... Why...
Hey, I have to literally buzz the gate to get in. He's stealing dogs?
Why? Yeah, what would his purpose be for stealing dogs? Like, that's what I want. Like, what
just had a #1 album. He's got to go out and steal a dog.
And, like, targeted this person. Like... What? He has that much time on his hands that he can go do that?
I just imagine Uzi, like, in the back of an Uber, just like, hold on, stop right here.
I saw this dog this one time.
Is that a terrier? I've been waiting for that. That a pug? Like,
what kind of dog was it? Do we know?
I don't know. I actually don't know what kind of dog it was. Let me go find out what kind of dog it was. That might be interesting. Wouldn't it be funny if it's like Uzi, little tiny ass Uzi, stole like a giant ass dog?
Or he took like a Yorkie.
Uzi steals a 120-pound Rottweiler. Like, what? How did he run away with that? Yeah, so in a bizarre set of circumstances, yeah, no kidding, was mistaken for a dog napper by the Wilkes-Barre Township Police Department in Pennsylvania. Yeah, when issuing a bulletin via Facebook regarding a stolen puppy, so he stole a pup. The irony of that. The township's police department included a photo of Lil Uzi Vert instead of the actual suspect, who ended up looking quite similar to the Philadelphia rapper. That's racist. Be on the lookout. The Wilkes-Barre Police Department captured the photo of Lil Uzi Vert and the poor missing pup. Stolen puppy from Brookside Pups on Kidder Street, last seen going on the turnpike, believed to be heading towards Philadelphia. The license for the vehicle does not belong on the vehicle and is believed to be stolen.
Oh, wow.
Any sightings of this vehicle, dog or individual, is asked to call 911.
But like, what does the dog look like?
I'm not seeing a picture yet, actually. They apologize for wrongfully identifying Lil Uzi as a puppy thief.
Puppy thief.
They said the original... I love this. The police department issued their statement, and this is how they started it off. The original photo of the male provided by the establishment turned out to not be the correct male. No shit. Like, the current photo is the actor in question, which we apologize for the error and any confusion. And then it says, what has Lil Uzi actually been up to instead of stealing dogs? He dropped the Pink Tape album. Thanks a lot, XXL. We weren't aware of that. That's so funny. What does Uzi do when he's not stealing dogs? I don't know. He's got to do something. But it's a weird hobby for Uzi to have. Good thing he got let go of that.
I'm like concerned about this one right here.
Oh, well, that's the one that we're going right into. So, which I got to show you the pictures of this one. Now, this one is not a wrongful accusation. This one's just caught red-handed. In fact, I don't think red-handed would be the proper term here. I would say brown hair handed. So Kanye West was really enjoying this boat excursion with his new wife named Bianca, where it appears that in broad daylight, she was tying his shoes. Let me show you what this picture looks like. Now, to me, it looks like she's just tying his shoes. And if you've seen what the new Yeezys look like, they do look complicated to lace up. I could see how this could take maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But he was spotted in Italy with his new wife, Bianca. The fashion we'll get into, but let's just try to assess what's going on here. And the fit that he has on, though, is a little bit, I don't know if it was a windy day. I don't know if he had a SpongeBob incident when he was on the beach, but something also occurred when he was on this boat ride that may have took a little bit of the attention off of his complicated shoes that were getting tied, because it did seem to take a while to get those shoes laced up. And hey, I've had Tim's, and I know that those take a while too, but I don't know. It seemed like it was taking awfully long down there.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
So, what do you think was going on there on that boat excursion? Seemed like they were having a nice little lazy river type thing going on in Italy. The weather seemed nice out. Definitely seemed windy. What would you think of that whole situation? Was it the Yeezy boots that were giving her a hard time? Was she struggling with that?
Had to have been.
It wasn't what everybody else was saying they were doing, right? I mean, they wouldn't be doing that in broad daylight, right? By the way, the thing that has to be known with this is that...
Well, they're on a boat.
Let me provide some context in case I breezed over it a little too fast. Kanye West and Bianca were out on the water, and a couple pictures came out because as paparazzi lined up from all angles, as you can see, Bianca at one point's even looking 12 o'clock right at the camera. Kanye just gave him the thumbs up at one point in the video and just kind of gives the thumbs up and just lets the paparazzi just freely take pictures of that. But my favorite part of this whole thing is the part that everybody, because I always try to find the part that nobody's looking at. I don't know if you can find the picture on there. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of the guy who's driving the fucking boat. There's a guy driving and steering this thing. Or at least, maybe he's not steering it, but I saw that there was definitely at one point another guy on the boat. But what do you think of this, though, as you're finding it? Curious to see what you guys think of this as well. I think it was just Kanye needed help with his shoes. I don't think my mind's not in the gutter.
We got some different angles here.
Yeah, homeboy on the boat. Boom. Look at that. He's on the phone. Wow. Why? What's that phone call like? What's he saying? I want to know.
There's no.
I like how they bleeped out the butt crack, because that's when he really got the breeze going.
We could probably show it,
but yeah, you can show that as long as it's not playing music.
I don't know. Sorry, this is poor production, but
one of the first times we ever show images on the screen, and it's just Kanye's ass just blowing in the wind like Shawn Michaels in '98.
On an iPad. That's how. No budget, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. No budget to a T right there.
On the iPad. Anyway.
But yeah, what do you think?
That is the Nutty Professor. I don't know what in the world. I feel like that is a common practice, though, because going to the
out
beach,
in the broad daylights of Italy.
Yeah, well, I don't know about in Italy, but people do it over here on the Lake Erie all the time on their boats. You, Josh, and me, yeah.
Now, my only difference with that is, though, do they have 100,000 paparazzi taking pictures and giving them the okay?
Not. I'm saying that it could be a common practice.
Like in the one picture, Bianca's
Kanye
looking at it.
Kanye just decided that he wanted to make it his practice as well. So
he took it to the whole next. But yeah, Kanye, I'm just glad to see you having fun crazy.
Just this picture.
By the way, I'm not gonna just leave off on saying the shoes got tied. I'm pretty sure we can call the spade a spade there. There was something else going on that boat. I think everybody in the comment sections on Twitter and Reddit, I think you guys probably nailed what was going on there. I don't think Kanye was giving the thumbs up because he's like, don't worry, she's really great at lacing these up. But last thing I wanted to mention on music, just a little quick note, and then do another little quick pivot, but you'll see how I transition. So Lil Pump reportedly sells his Miami house, which I think was a good idea because his career seems to be a little bit on the, let's say he was on top here with the Millennium. I think now he's getting more towards the bottom. So he sold his Miami house, but guess who he sold it to? He sold it to the star running back of the Green Bay Packers. But Lil Pump, when he bought it, to show you how the housing market's going insane, bought that Miami house for $4.5 million. Now he just sold it to Aaron Jones for $7.5. Oh, so they called that an investment. Yeah. Plus, Aaron Jones moving to Miami kind of stirred up a little bit of the talk of,
Maybe in the
maybe if
past.
he'll end up getting traded. Which, speaking of Aaron Jones, perfect pivot, I thought. This leads us right into sports. So just briefly, because if you want to hear me go in depth, me and Danathan Daly, friend of the show, last week on YouTube, live, we went live for a fantasy football draft where we went in depth on all of our picks. So for right now, if you didn't check that out and you're like, I just want to wait for him to recap his team, I'm just going to go through a quick recap of my two teams. On my league where I'm the commissioner, I got Patty Mahomes, Austin Eckler, Cam Akers, Deebo Samuel, Devonta Smith, Cole Kmet, Drake London, Browns defense, Daniel Carlson, Brian Robinson Jr., Quentin Johnson, Rondale Moore, Dalton Schultz, Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, and Rashee Rice. Then in my other league, I got Lamar Jackson, Joe Mixon, Rachaad White, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyler Higbee, James Conner, 49ers defense, Harrison Butker. On my bench, I got Cam Akers, Michael Pittman Jr., Christian Kirk, Jordan Addison, Antonio Gibson, Christian Okonkwo, and Jared Goff. So let me know what you guys think of my picks. And as always, send me what your drafts look like. I love picking it apart and seeing what you guys draft as well. Which then brings me to the thing that I really wanted to talk about, the main talking point for sports this week. The Eli Apple baby mama drama. We have baby mama drama this week. To give you guys the whole context to it, I'll read through. So, reel it in. Start from the beginning. So, Eli Apple, football player, professional. Eli Apple's baby mama is really offering to pay fines for anyone that injures him. Go for the knees or maybe a hammy. She also has kids with Josh Jacobs and Geno Smith. So this bitch is trying to put the City Girls up 1,000 points right now. If you play, this is what she posted on her IG story. This is just the pictures that I have of it. I know she ended up posting more and it got crazy, but this is enough to give you guys background context. If you play against my baby daddy this season, please go for the knees. Maybe a hammy. Number 33 for the Dolphins. I'll gladly zelly you back any fines. Like, damn, bitch, you don't even got Cash App? LMAO, let me not get started on the things this man said to me while pregnant with the child he asked me to have. We got pregnant after traveling together off season. His response to my pregnancy was straight up. Well, what did you expect? I knew it was going to happen. Upside down, sad face emoji. Then he tells me he has a sex problem, and I'm the 6th pregnant woman in 3 years. The others just had abortions, but I'm already 14 weeks at the time of this confession. Fast forward to mid-pregnancy, my son has a heart condition and needs a cord blood transfusion, but I'm not a direct match and Eli is. Doctors set up the appointment for him to give 30 MLS, just fucking 30 MLS of blood. And this man refuses because I found out he was smashing a different woman in every city he went to raw. So pretty much every time he would go to a Monday Night Raw, he was just fucking bitches. So he blocks me because I sent him the article asking him to explain. After he told me it was best for the baby to die, I went crazy on him and his mama because, girl, your son is a piece of shit. So I had my son at 25 weeks. Now, this is oddly enough the weirdest part to me. So I had my son at 25 weeks at 1 pound, 12 ounces. And my son has had 2 surprise surgeries since. And this man has barely showed up for anything. So this Eli Apple baby mama drama. I'm thinking what we got here is a case of 2 wrongs don't make it right. I'm also not believing he said all that shit off rip. I'm not victim shaming potentially. But the part that throws me off, one, Eli Apple, he does sound like a piece of shit too. But the part that throws me off, why is this the 3rd NFL player you've had a child with? That part throws me off.
Yeah, that part definitely throws me off.
This is one of those things where I know trust me, everybody right now is probably going, I can't believe he's somehow sounding like he's defending Eli Apple. I'm not defending Eli Apple. I'm saying 2 wrongs aren't making it right.
No, the only thing that I'm like really focused on right now is how he wouldn't give his baby 30 milliliters of blood. 30 mLs is 30 milliliters, which is only an ounce.
I don't know how much that is.
An ounce. Do you know how much
Barely
an ounce is?
Barely any.
Yes. That's an ounce of
blood. So why wouldn't he do this?
Exactly. Why would you not do that for? Because he didn't want it, but what?
Apparently he is like okay with it if it dies. That does seem to be the thing. He's like okay if that happens, which is
so that's literally the only thing that I'm focusing on. I don't give a.
And the baby popped out at 25 weeks.
And that's
1 pound something. Needed 2 surgeries. I mean, that part to me, again, I'm not like Mr. Health Whiz. So when I see something like that, I'm like, is that serious?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. Like, well, I know it's serious, but like how level of serious? And I'm like, oh
baby,
shit.
Like a full term, I think is like 40 to 42 weeks or something. I think.
Now, again, my only other thing though, my question that I have here is, then let me ask you a question. Then are you saying maybe she's in the right for doing this stunt on IG?
No, I don't think
trying to raise awareness to the situation.
I mean, yes, for that. I mean, no, I don't think it's okay for you to be like, hey, he's got knee problems, like, take his fucking knees out. No, that's not okay. I think that her raising awareness that you're like, oh my God, he's a piece of shit, and he's done this to so many people because he refuses to wrap it up, I think is an issue. But also, these females are what, like, you're sleeping with them in the first place.
Why is this the third NFL star?
Exactly. Like,
and it's not even like she's had kids with bums.
Yeah.
Like Geno Smith and Josh Jacobs. Those guys are starters.
But we don't know that situation. One, we're only getting one side. And two, like, what if he, like, schmoozed her and was like, oh my God, we're going to have a family and be together. And
Eli Apple has, as of now, been told to just stay the fuck away from the team. Whatever you got going on, you're not on the team.
Or he came out and straight up, asked, like, put a baby in you or whatever the fuck the case was. And
why is he just fucking raw in every city? That's
STDs,
weird too. That's really weird too.
We don't think about STDs. Like, I don't. And it's like, ladies, protect yourselves. What are you doing? You need to protect yourselves.
Yeah, you're just letting this piece of shit run rampant in every fucking city he goes to. But as far as the putting the hit out, though, saying that he's got bad knees and bad hammies, that's where I say also 2 wrongs aren't making a right.
Yeah.
That comes from the why is this your third kid? Mm-hmm. And comes from the now you're trying to take his whole livelihood and career away.
Yeah, it's like the person who's going to be paying you child support
is not going to have money because everybody in the NFL now is going to go, hey, number 33 over there, his baby mama said he's got terrible knees. You know where to hit him. We're not hitting him in the ribs anymore. Why are we going to do that? That's a waste. Yeah. Target his fucking knees. He has bad hamstrings? Great. So if I can out-juke him maybe real quick, he's going to pop it. Like, oh, shit. Yeah, I think that's some fucked up shit, though. But we'll see how that unfolds. Eli Apple, I don't think it looks good for him, though, because he has not released any kind of statement.
No,
he hasn't even done the phone notes apology. If you don't got a phone notes apology, you might have did that shit. If the PR team's like, man, we can't even put out a fucking notes app
other
apology.
Women are gonna come out against this. Like, did she not reference?
I mean, apparently he's been dropping dick in every city like a fucking pin. So
if there's gonna be other ladies coming out about something.
Well, yeah, because one of her accusations was he wanted me to get pregnant.
Exactly. So
which means that opens up the door for
I need to hear some
other people being like, oh, well, he asked me to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But that's Eli Apple's crazy shit. I know I got you on this new season of Hard Knocks. I know I mentioned it earlier in the episode talking about ski. Mm-hmm. But what do you think of the episodes so far? We got one more left as they wrap up preseason.
Yeah, I think,
You think the Jets are looking good going into the season, or?
Yeah, but didn't we say that whatever, I can't remember the team that we watched last season.
Oh, Detroit Lions?
Yeah, didn't we say they looked good?
Well, the Lions, damn it, they're kind of like the Browns. And Big Doom is that the Lions are his team. Man, we watch them with a smile, don't we? We watched them in training camp, and even I got on the bandwagon, which the Lions had a good season. They did. They actually had a better season than normal. But,
I mean, I think they look good, but I don't really, know too much about that.
Aaron Rodgers is really a big boost for that team.
I think so. I think, yeah, that's a big
I just
boost.
didn't like seeing him release B. Rabbit. They released B. Rabbit, Jermaine Cap. I thought he could have been a good rookie.
Give him a chance.
I thought this was something else I wanted to mention in football, though, that I just thought was a crazy thing. So they asked Andy Reid, what is the craziest thing that you could tell us? Which, by the way, for those who don't know, Andy Reid is the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and he used to be the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, the guy that's kind of built like a walrus. You know, yep. You're like, oh, walrus guys. Big seal. But Andy Reid was asked in an interview earlier this week, what is the craziest thing that you can tell us or share with us out of your whole time that you've spent in your NFL career and in your tenure? He said, craziest story. He goes, okay. He goes, one time, and this was when he was a Philadelphia Eagle, not when he was a Kansas City Chief. He said this was when his time in Philly, when they were having a rough go right when he first started off with the team, that this janitor was just in the hallway, and Andy Reid said he just left the meeting. He was using the bathroom, walked back into the room. Well, Andy Reid was walking out of the room, and a janitor stopped and handed him like a couple pieces of paper. Well, when the janitor stopped and handed him a couple pieces of paper, Andy Reid was like, what the fuck is this? And the janitor goes, well, I got you, a couple plays I drew up. I've been watching the games. I've been watching you guys play. And, I've always been a big football fan, and these are some plays I feel like that people have never really used that I just wanted to give to you. And if you want to use them, cool. If you want to crunkle them up and throw them in the trash, go for it. Andy Reid was like, okay. And he said later that night he wasn't really thinking anything of it, but he had them on his desk, and he was coming up for the playbook for the weekend. And he's like, all right, let me at least look at them, see what we got here. And he said he looked at a couple of them, and he's like, well, let me run them in practice and see how it looks. Well, one of them looked real good. He didn't tell the janitor anything, though. Very next game, he said, I'll never forget. He goes, we were playing the Indianapolis Colts. And he said it was 4th and 11. And at the time, Donovan McNabb was the QB. And McNabb said, what do you want to do, coach? He goes, if we don't get it, he goes, we're too far from the end zone. We're going to go into overtime. If not, we get one last play. We're not taking a knee. Let's do the janitor's play. They won the game. Touchdown. He threw it to Todd Pinkston, and Andy Reid said as soon as he floated the ball to the left, and because the way the play worked, it was like he explained it, where it looked like he was throwing to Terrell Owens, the big star. And T.O. slows down, so it's like, oh, he's stopping, wait. And Todd Pinkston kept going. So when Pinkston catches it for the touchdown, Andy Reid said when he was watching the play, he literally looked, and he looked up at like the camera hoping that the janitor was watching and went, I'd be goddamn. Like, I can't believe that shit worked. Next day, just it being a cool story, he went up to the janitor. He said, put that mop down, come in the meeting. And that guy ended up having a job. He said his name, but I forget who it was. But he ended up having a job. And to this day, he works in front offices as like a scout, helps come up with different running back plays and shit. So I thought that was really cool. Big Boss 20, good brother Doom said the Lions have a good team now. It just matters of players stepping up when it matters most. Yes. You guys got the talent. Jared Goff, good solid quarterback. You guys got that new star in Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know you lost Swift, but I know you got that rookie back now. So I think you guys got the tools. The Lions can be a good team. You guys just got to shake off that curse that Cleveland has. When we can get to the big one. We can. But no, I think the Lions have another good season. Another thing I wanted to mention, which oddly enough, it just switched over the past 24 hours. But all three, as of 24 hours ago, all three Antetokounmpo brothers were officially on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, nice.
As of this morning, they let one go.
Oh.
They signed the youngest one, and then let the middle one go. So now they have Giannis and the youngest one, and let the middle one go. And I saw the one that got let go posted on Twitter. He said, "Devastated." ... Like, yo, as of yesterday, we're living the dream. You're gonna let us all three play together, and then today you're gonna fucking cut me.
Oh,
like, what the fuck? Like, we got to enjoy that for what? One practice? That's bullshit.
That sucks.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid. I actually wasn't even going to mention it until I saw that, and I was like, how the hell does it turn that much within one day? Then last thing I wanted to mention on sports before we pivot off into what we're going to close off which is TV and movies. University of Nebraska's women's volleyball team outdrew WrestleMania and AEW All In. University of Nebraska women's volleyball team has shown how popular women's volleyball has become. They drew over 92,000 fans.
That's nuts.
That's crazy for women's volleyball. And like people were going crazy because obviously I was like, well, let me see a clip. Like, is the crowd really getting like, how over is this?
Are you kidding me? Volleyball is like so suspenseful. It's
when I saw the Nebraska women's team take the field, I started looking amongst them like, God damn, what do they have John Lennon with them? This crowd is fucking losing it right now. I'm watching guys and girls fucking swinging shirts, fucking losing it. Beers are flying. I'm like, what? I'm like, people are losing their minds to this. The team's coming out. People are going nuts. The team's jamming. I'm like, wow, they got the band playing. Like, it's a whole show. I did not know volleyball in general is just that popular. Yeah, but shout out the University of Nebraska. Yeah. Good God. So a little pivot into TV and movies. I didn't mention last week. I was off my game. I forgot about a movie that came out, Gran Turismo. Oh, wait. Before we pivot. Volleyball is one of my favorite sports now. I just started watching it last year, and almost every game is a nail biter. Seriously. Man, a lot of the group chat, too. I mean, him, big musicology shit. Dooley, Nate watches, like, it's crazy.
The coworker of mine plays.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I mean, I got to start watching it more. Yeah, I know a lot of people that play in, like, leagues locally around here, so I'm happy to see that take off. I never thought it would.
Playing volleyball. I mean, I never played, for a team or anything, but I loved going up to the park that we have, and it. There's a volleyball court. Oh, God.
I love getting a couple spikes in. I love getting a couple spikes in, especially when I was a gym class hero and you get like the people that like weren't really interested in it and they would just stand right in front of the net and I'd see the ball come over. I'd be looking at it like, oh, Ben, you're about to get it. Boom! Just smack it right into his face.
Gym class.
However, though, I barely ever name drop. I apologize to Sylvia Bontempo publicly for when I smacked that ball in your nose and made your nose bust open. I believe that was 9th grade gym class. I came over that net. She wasn't paying attention. She was looking at her friend. I smacked the fuck out of that ball. It went straight into her nose and busted her nose open, and she had to go to the clinic. From that point on, rest of high school, she gave me the nastiest of looks. So I'm sorry, Sylvia. I did not mean to do that to you.
I would too.
You're a jerk, I know. But especially back then. So to talk about some TV and movies. So as I was saying last week, I was off my game. There was a movie that came out that I didn't get to mention, but Gran Turismo hit the theaters. One of the two big movies to close out the summer movie festivities. I know The Nun 2 comes out next week, but that's kind of like where they start rolling out fall movies, where they kind of look at the beginning of September, end of August as the end of summer. So for those that don't know, if you're not a cinema geek, summer movies start about midway through April, beginning of May. They end right at the beginning of September, end of August. So the one that I'm finding it interesting, oh yeah, we love the spooky season. We got Saw X coming out. I'm big pumped for that. That might be one of the movies, if not the movie that I'm most pumped for, is the new Saw.
The Nun. I'm very excited.
Are you more pumped for The Nun or Saw?
The Nun.
Really?
I think that's my genre movie. I love it.
Yeah, because it's demonic. I go more slasher. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, somebody getting their eyeball. They have to manually rip out their eye.
That's not scary.
Give me my fucking pen and sign my name. Sign it twice because I'm on my way. That's not scary, ripping your eye out.
I mean, it is, but to watch
I'd rather run away from some nun in this picture than try to rip my eye out.
The devil?
Rip my eye out.
The devil's possessing you. You're no longer you. And now you're fucking just...
They're good. I'm not me when I'm breaking my bones and trying to do the fucking crab walk.
Are you kidding me? If somebody's trying to rip my eyeball out, I'm going to pass out and die of a heart attack before the eyeball even comes out.
No, you have to rip out your own eye. It's Saw.
Either way.
Because if not, some weird screw thing's going to slowly go from one side of your head to the other.
Either way, I'm not making it because I'm already going to be passed out and died of a heart attack because I'm in that situation to begin with. And it's honestly probably going to be the same for the demon, and then it's just going to possess me anyway. So that's more scary.
But what if it possesses you like the one that got Jonah Hill? The power of Christ compels you. Let me tell you something, Jay. It's not that compelling. Fuck off, Jay. But, yeah, no, we're big pumped for those, though. Let us know which one you find scarier. The demon or ripping your eye out. No, or just Saw in general. Like. Slasher or demon. Slasher or demon. Let us know your favorites. But Gran Turismo came out last week. That's another video game movie I saw, which is actually doing really well in the box office. I'm happy to see that. They got Sheriff Hopper in it. He's kind of like the main star, so that's cool that they're giving him a look. But to close out the summer movies, this one I was actually pretty surprised by, because usually, like, when they end summer movies, they'll end on like a, ooh, like, fuck, this is a big one. But that's kind of how they're marketing it, even though they didn't market the last two as it. I own one of them. Equalizer 3 came out with the great Denzel Washington, one of my favorite actors of all time. Now, I do want to see the Equalizer 3 big time in theaters. I'm kind of getting the idea that it'll probably sneak away from me, but I do really want to see that. Like, it would be one of those where if I do wait till it comes out, I want to see it immediately, even if I have to rent it for $25. Slashers is one of my... Oh, gotcha, because it was a spelling errors. But no, Equalizer 3, though. I'm looking really forward to that. And I'm just surprised that they're ending the season on that one. But just came out yesterday. I saw the reviews for it seem to be doing really, really well.
I don't have an interest, but I'm sure you...
Yeah, no, it's looking like, I mean, like I said, the reviews for it are really, really well. People seem to be digging it. The only thing that kind of catches me off guard is they marketed the Equalizer, the first two, kind of like how they marketed Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. Like, Tom Cruise doing Jack Reacher was kind of like, this is kind of how I looked at it. When Tom Cruise does Jack Reacher, it's not Mission Impossible. It's not Top Gun. So they market it as like, hey, here's a Tom Cruise movie, but we're not going to put a bunch of money behind the promotion. That's kind of how they felt with Denzel and the Equalizer. Mm-hmm. But now with the third one, it's turned to be, oh, we're really going to promote it. We got a shitload of showings all weekend, that whole thing. But, yeah, so I just did just want to mention how they're closing out the summer movies. But the last thing before we give an outro and get out here, we did just want to say before we go into this part, spoiler alert. Yes. So if you're not a fan of spoilers, we're about to be mentioning Justified season finale. We're going to talk about the season. We're going to talk about the season finale down to the last scene. So if you don't mind spoilers, awesome. And I hope it gets you hyped. If you do plan on watching it because of how much I've hyped it up and you haven't gotten around to it yet, and you don't want to hear what happens, spoiler alert, mute the mic now. On that note, what did you think of the Justified season finale?
The season finale was left, I feel like it was an open ending there. Could be a cliffhanger, maybe not. I don't know. I think that him...
For background context, they brought back Boyd Crowder at the end, and he escapes prison, and he's now with this new girl. His last scene of him is throwing his convict orange jumpsuit right out the window as he's going down the highway. Raylan then gets a phone call while he's out on the boat with his girl, with his daughter, Willow, and she literally asked him, like, so, you know,
it rang once, and he ignored it, whatever, and then it rang again.
And as it rings again, it's ringing, the screen goes black, the ringing stops, the credits roll.
So did he answer it? Did he not answer it?
Is he letting Boyd just run rampant? He's over it. He don't care. He's out. I think because of the success that even started them to make a new limited series.
It's definitely going to be a limited series.
I think that they're going to do that again, where it'll be about 6 to 7 episodes. What do you think?
Yeah.
6 to 7 episodes?
I think they might do one more.
And really end this thing.
Maybe 3 if we're going to push it to its, like, max. If they, like, try to extend out the stories a little bit. But overall, if they do a season 2, I'm very pumped.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I love the way they did this whole new season. I did just want to mention, I thought Manziel was a great new villain. I'll be honest, I started the season being like, I don't know if I'm going to get behind this guy. And then once you see how really crazy he is, loose cannon shit, especially in that last episode where Raylan shows up to that thing and realizes he's gone and he goes, oh shit.
Also, why was dude always in his undies?
Yeah, I never could figure that one out. That was my only critique with the show.
It was in his contract, I'm convinced.
Yeah, once an episode, it would be like him sitting up smoking a cigarette. Yeah, or like tighty whities even. Like, or as Rory would say, whitey tighties.
Yeah, his whitey tighties.
But, yeah, no, that threw me off. There wasn't really anybody in the show, though, that annoyed me looking back on it. Besides Winona, seeing her at the end.
Honestly, sometimes Willow would
piss you off at the beginning.
Make me mad, yeah, at the beginning.
Yeah, Willow pissed me off in that second episode when Manziel shows up to the house or shows up to the hotel. Yeah. She's like, let me just go down and get dinner with the guy. And then that's when Raylan first shows that mean streak side to him. Yeah, because Manziel says something where he goes, you know, it's a shame. He goes, it's a shame she ain't older. You got a pretty fine looking daughter. And he goes, Willow, go to your room now. She goes, oh, but Dad, he goes, now. I'm not asking. And that's where she realizes, oh, shit, what's he about to do? And he grabs Manziel by the collar and throws him outside. And he goes, what, Marshall? He goes, you going to shoot me right here? He goes, as a matter of fact, I might. That's the oh, shit. Which, again, we're spoiler alert still. I loved how he finished Manziel. Because I almost feel like the new age of criminal that's not in Harlan threw him off. When I watched it back again, maybe I read too much into it. I'm known to do that with my favorite shit. But that's kind of what I got from it. Because if you remember, when he goes, the last line that Manziel says, he goes, all right, Raylan, he goes, let me just give you something to remember old Manziel by. And as soon as he reaches his hand towards his pocket, Raylan pulls and shoots him. But when he goes over and he walks over there to him, he goes, damn, Marshall, I was just trying to give you my tape. And he shows him that cassette. And Raylan goes,
oh, no.
Yeah, oh, no. Because she just called the cops. And Carolyn's behind him, calls the cops and said he's armed. And he had the fucking cassette in his hand. So it's like, they're going to get here. And it looks like I just pulled on him for no reason. Like, oh, shit. Which I think that's why Manziel got that last line off of, like, you're getting in trouble for this shit. Like, that was his way of getting it. But incredible how they ended it. I liked how you said, I think they're setting up for a second one.
Yeah.
Again, I get lost in the streets of Reddit. There is a couple takes on Reddit, and El Padrino said this as well, that he thinks that they ended it right there. Because there's some people...
I think they left it open.
The perspective that some people are coming from is, after everything that Boyd and Raylan's been through, and after everything Raylan's been through,
I don't think
that this is Raylan's way of just looking at it on the phone and going, you know what, Boyd? I'm tired. I'm over it. Have at it.
I mean,
if you guys get him. If not, no.
I guess we'll see.
I also saw a crazy take on Reddit that what if the next season is just a straight Boyd story, and then you bring them both back?
That's
meaning like Boyd. Meaning like in the meantime, maybe Raylan is like, you know what? I am just gonna let it go.
Yeah.
But Boyd just starts getting so fucking crazy that it gets to the point where they're like, Raylan, you're the only one that knows how this guy moves because you think kind of like him. And then Raylan's like, all right, I got to put the hat back on, and I got one last guy I got to go get, my unfinished business. And it was that line on Reddit where I was like, I don't know, I think that guy nailed it.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's a real good take.
Because it kind of looked like maybe they'll just focus on Boyd.
That's a good take. Mm-hmm.
Which means then you could see how the Boyd and Ava shit patches up. Because Boyd still doesn't know that Ava's alive from the original series.
And that they have a son.
Yeah. And then what if Ava's son starts wondering, like, who is my dad? And stumbles upon, like I said, I get lost in the Reddit rabbit holes. What if I get lost in these when I'm falling asleep upstairs?
How old would the son be now? How many years?
20. About 2021 at the time of depending on how they want to do it. Because remember, they years latered us.
Yeah,
to start this series.
So we don't know how many years.
This was years later he got transferred.
Crazy take then.
Because remember, Willow shot up in age big time.
Crazy take then. Their son is now a little bit older, getting into trouble. somewhere down the line trickles in, is now working with Boyd. He finds out that's his son. And then trickles down to he finds Ava.
I left my mom, and
And then everything starts to kind of piece together. Well, blah, 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 blah.
Because Boyd would ditch that new girl for Ava and like that if he could find her.
Yeah, especially because he thinks that she's dead.
Which
had like confirmation and everything from Raylan. Yeah. So
he even accepted it in that scene too, because he goes, "Well, maybe that's for the best then." And he goes, "How you figure that, boy?" He goes, "I sometimes think the best way to get out of Harlan is never have been born there." Which that's a great line. Crazy. Which they got to bring back the Harlan vibe. Come on, you got to bring back that Brad Paisley song to end the season with. Got to. But on that note, spoiler alert's over. I do hope you guys check out the new Justified season. It's on Hulu. All episodes available. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And so my closeout. We got the ski freestyle I'm going to be dropping here very shortly after closing. Thank you guys for tuning in to Pull Up a Chair episode 53. I'm going to let my wife, though, give her outro before I officially close us out. What is something that you would like to share with us? That I also included the link in the description.
As per the link in the description, if you all did not know, September is Suicide Prevention Month, according to AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Awareness, which I am an advocate for. As some of you know, my brother took his life in 2017, and I do a walk every year that is support of suicide awareness. So with that being said, I want a couple dates to keep in mind this month, especially, pay it forward, be kind to others. Always, you never know what somebody's going through. National Suicide Prevention Week is the 10th through the 14th. And World Suicide Prevention Day is September 10th. And you can go to www.afsp.org for more information and resources, and more information on if you wanted to find a local walk in your town. They do them yearly, and they're very helpful, I think, if you're struggling, know somebody who struggled or lost somebody to struggling. But that's it.
Mental health matters. And I'm excited to also post the link to I know the goal you're trying to reach as well for the walk. I know you got a lot of great designs on there as well. I haven't had a chance to share the links yet, but I have mentioned it previously that is
links will be available. I've designed some shirts for my team along with some just general mental health designs. So feel free to check those out, or just go to the page and they will have some links for you as well. We'll be walking October 14th in our town in Cleveland.
I'll be there.
So maybe some content to be done there, but we'll see. Anyway, that is all I have to say about that.
Smile more. Not only your soul needs it, but the world needs it. Wake up with a smile on, crush some trees and make some planes.
And be kind to your mind.
And stay blessed and less stressed, as good brother Snooker would say. And on that note, I know I kind of half-assed it. I kept it a little bit calm on the intro, so to officially close us out, I'll do the moneymaker. If you didn't know, it's El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce everything he fucking knows, a.k.a. Space Mountain Stoney, a.k.a. Stoney Montana, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, the lyrical wizard, a.k.a. Edward Swisher Hands, a.k.a. call me what you will, just don't call me broke or sad. It's Mr. Keep the Love High and the Hate Low. And on that note, tomorrow we got Sleepless Radio episode 159, Winners Bracket, Classic Rock, Labor Day, Midwest versus the South showdown. We got in one corner Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band versus Greg Allman and the Allman Brothers Band. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Then we will be taking a week hiatus from Sleepless Radio. However, next Sunday, I will be live for a celebration of Mac, where you get to watch me cry and share amazing Mac memories. And I will be doing as well another episode, of course, as Pull Up a Chair next week. And hopefully Wifey will pull up a chair with me, because we love having you on the show.
Most likely.
They get tired of looking at my ugly mug. So they get tired of looking at my ugly mug. So you're the beauty, I'm the beast of this duo here. So on that note, thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for being tuned in. Good Brother Doom, as always, I appreciate your comments and feedback. Anybody else, leave a comment, subscribe, turn the notifications on, doing cash giveaways starting at 150. Then we're just going to keep letting the cash giveaways fly. Freestyles all month. When Vampires Go Surfing coming soon. Merch coming soon. World doesn't stop. The simulation doesn't stop, and neither do we. I love y'all. Wake up with a smile on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Booyah.